Hi everyone! So I decided to examine Ernesto Grassi's Italian humanism for my theory. And the text identified this as the idea of experiencing the world with our senses and developing responses to the challenges of life because of that. So Grassi defined people as interacting with their environment, and he called this ingenium. And the book defines ingenium as a natural and unique genius that each one of us has. It's our ability to connect and recognize patterns that are in the world around us. So I kind of looked at it as it's basically our human ability to have our own thoughts and be unique in that way. Grassi defined his theory into three different parts: imagination, work, and language. So when he was talking about imagination, the book gave this element as it's the one that's most closely related to ingenium. It basically defines our ability to create or to have thoughts or to come up with ideas. When it came to work, that was defined as action in response to what our senses tell us about the world. So the book gave an example that I thought was really good about becoming an advocate for immigrants, becoming an advocate for issues. And then finally there's language. And this was referred to as a way to organize and order our world when it comes to this theory. And I thought that was a really good way of identifying language for us because it allows us to name things, as the book said, including each other and ourselves. And it really changes the way that we see the world and other people, whether this is a positive or a negative thing. It all depends on us. And then finally, Grassi also categorized the use of a metaphor as a valuable tool to make meaning, because it allows taking two things and relating them to each other to enhance our understanding. The text had a really good quote about a metaphor, saying that it captures the essence or the human world for Grassi. Ultimately, I think that Grassi's main point were that the choices that result from what we perceive will ultimately color the world that we live in. And the book summed it up as this, and I agree with that. I found this theory to be really interesting because it attributed the incredibly unique way that each one of us sees the world, based on our simple ability to perceive everything around us through our senses, whether it's sight, sound, anything like that. Many people may witness the same event, for instance, but they come away with many different impressions, and I can't even count how many times I've witnessed something with my family or my friends or my husband, and we came away from it really seeing two different things, and so it was always interesting to talk about that. I think that this was Grassi's intention when naming ingenium, the fact that we can all think very individually, whether or not our society sees us as individuals. We still definitely think of ourselves as individuals. However, I could always be wrong because, like this theory, I can never think the same as Grassi or anyone else. Grassi's points of imagination, work, and language, they could be seen as the progression of an idea, I thought. A thought crosses your mind, you decide to take action and bring it to others, and then you use your language, whether it's written or vocal, to share it. And if it is difficult for people to understand, you can always use a metaphor. Overall, I like how this all ties together with Grassi's theory, and I really like the fact that something so complex can arise from something as simple as our senses.